What if I told you that something sitting quietly in your kitchen, something you may have ignored your entire life, has been shown to support a shrinking prostate and ease those embarrassing nighttime bathroom trips? No pill, no surgery. Just one powerful vegetable, and almost no one talks about it. Most men believe their prostate grows simply because they are getting older. Doctors often reinforce this idea by saying, "It's normal at your age," and men accept frequent urination, weak flow, and sleepless nights as an unavoidable price of aging. But what is rarely explained is that age itself is not the true enemy. The real problem quietly driving prostate enlargement is chronic inflammation that builds up over years inside the prostate tissue. This inflammation acts like a constant internal irritation, causing the prostate to swell, tighten, and press against the bladder and urethra. Over time, this pressure disrupts normal urine flow and creates the frustrating symptoms men live with every day. Inflammation doesn't appear overnight. It develops slowly due to a combination of poor diet, excess sugar, processed foods, hormonal imbalance, stress, and oxidative damage. The prostate, being extremely sensitive to hormonal changes in immune signals, reacts strongly to this environment. When inflammatory chemicals stay elevated for too long, prostate cells begin to multiply abnormally and retain fluid, leading to enlargement. This is why two men of the same age can have completely different prostate health. One sleeps peacefully, while the other is up 5 times a night. The difference is not age, it's inflammation. This is where the powerful vegetable comes in. Certain vegetables contain unique bioactive compounds that directly target inflammation at the cellular level rather than simply masking symptoms. In broccoli, for example, a compound called sulforaphane plays a critical role. Sulforaphane works by calming overactive inflammatory pathways and helping the body shut down the constant alarm signals that tell prostate tissue to swell. When these signals are reduced, the prostate begins to relax instead of remaining in a chronically irritated state. What makes this especially important is that inflammation doesn't just cause swelling, it also stiffens prostate tissue. A stiff, inflamed prostate squeezes the urethra like a clenched fist, weakening urine flow and increasing urgency. Anti-inflammatory compounds from this vegetable help soften and relax the tissue over time, reducing pressure on the bladder. This is why men often notice improvements such as stronger urine flow, less straining, and fewer nighttime bathroom visits when inflammation is brought under control. Another hidden benefit is how this vegetable influences the immune response. Chronic inflammation means the immune system is constantly overreacting, even when no real threat is present. This vegetable helps reset that response, telling immune cells to calm down and stop attacking healthy prostate tissue. Instead of constant irritation, the prostate environment becomes more balanced, allowing normal cellular repair to take place rather than uncontrolled growth. It's also important to understand that medications, commonly prescribed for prostate problems, often focus on relaxing muscles or altering hormones, but they rarely address inflammation directly. That's why many men experience partial relief or unpleasant side effects without long-term improvement. Nutrition-based anti-inflammatory support works differently. It addresses the root cause quietly and steadily without forcing the body into artificial changes. When inflammation decreases, the prostate doesn't need to stay enlarged as a protective response. A short real-life example makes this clearer. A 65-year-old man struggled for years with waking up every hour at night to urinate. His tests showed moderate prostate enlargement, and medication helped only slightly. After learning about inflammation, he made one simple change, adding lightly steamed broccoli to his meals 4 times a week and cutting back on processed foods. Within a month, he noticed fewer nighttime trips. After 3 months, his urine flow improved and his sleep deepened. Nothing dramatic happened overnight, but as inflammation eased, his prostate gradually stopped acting like an irritated muscle locked in tension. The truth no one tells men is that the prostate is not broken, it is inflamed. And inflammation is not destiny, it is influenced by daily choices. This powerful vegetable doesn't shrink the prostate by magic. It helps the body create an environment where swelling is no longer necessary. When inflammation calms, pressure reduces, flow improves, and quality of life slowly returns. For many men, that truth alone changes how they see aging, health, and hope. As men grow older, one of the most misunderstood changes happening inside the body is hormonal imbalance. And this imbalance has a direct and powerful effect on prostate size. Most men assume prostate enlargement is purely mechanical or genetic, but in reality, it is deeply hormonal. Testosterone, the hormone associated with strength, vitality, and male identity, naturally declines with age. At the same time, estrogen activity quietly increases. This does not mean men suddenly produce large amounts of estrogen, but rather that the ratio between testosterone and estrogen shifts. That shift sends confusing signals to the prostate, encouraging tissue growth and swelling. The prostate is extremely sensitive to hormones. When testosterone is balanced, prostate cells behave normally. But when estrogen becomes more dominant, even slightly, it acts like a growth signal. Estrogen tells prostate cells to multiply, retain fluid, and become more reactive to inflammation. Over time, this leads to gradual enlargement, tighter tissue, and increasing pressure on the bladder and urethra. This is why many men notice worsening urinary symptoms even if their overall health seems fine. The issue is not just aging, it is the hormonal environment aging creates. What most men are never told is that the body has natural ways to manage excess estrogen, but those systems weaken with poor diet and lifestyle choices. The liver plays a key role in breaking down and eliminating excess estrogen, but when it is overloaded with processed foods, sugars, and toxins, estrogen clearance slows down. This allows estrogenic activity to linger longer in the bloodstream, repeatedly stimulating prostate tissue. Medications may relax muscles or block certain hormone pathways, but they often do not address this underlying imbalance. This is where the powerful vegetable becomes important. Broccoli contains unique plant compounds that support the body's natural hormone-regulating systems. One of its most valuable actions is helping the liver process and eliminate excess estrogen more efficiently. Instead of estrogen constantly circulating and signaling prostate growth, it is broken down and removed from the body in a healthier way. This does not eliminate estrogen entirely, which the body still needs, but it restores balance so estrogen no longer dominates testosterone. Broccoli also supports enzymes involved in hormone metabolism, guiding estrogen toward less aggressive forms that are less likely to stimulate prostate tissue. This is critical because not all estrogen behaves the same way. Some forms are far more active in triggering cell growth. By shifting estrogen metabolism towards safer pathways, this vegetable helps reduce the hormonal pressure that keeps the prostate enlarged. Another overlooked factor is how hormonal imbalance worsens inflammation. Excess estrogen amplifies inflammatory signals inside prostate tissue, making swelling more persistent and harder to reverse. By supporting hormonal balance, this vegetable indirectly reduces inflammation as well. When testosterone and estrogen move closer to balance, prostate cells receive clearer signals, allowing them to relax instead of remaining in a constant state of growth and defense. What makes this approach powerful is that it works gently and consistently rather than aggressively. Instead of forcing hormone levels to change abruptly, which can cause side effects, it supports the body's own intelligence. Over time, as estrogen metabolism improves and testosterone signaling becomes more effective, the prostate no longer receives constant instructions to grow. As a result, swelling gradually reduces, pressure on the bladder eases, and urinary function improves. A short, real-life example helps bring this to life. A 67-year-old man noticed that his prostate symptoms worsened despite normal test results and medication. He felt fatigued, gained abdominal weight, and woke multiple times at night to urinate. After learning about hormonal balance, he made simple changes, including eating lytle. Why steamed broccoli several times a week? Over the next few months, he noticed fewer nighttime awakenings and a steadier urine flow. His doctor explained that while his prostate size hadn't magically changed overnight, the hormonal environment around it had improved, allowing symptoms to ease naturally. The truth no one tells men is that prostate enlargement is not just about size, it is about signals. Hormones are messages, and when those messages are distorted, the prostate reacts defensively by growing. This powerful vegetable helps correct those messages by supporting estrogen clearance and restoring hormonal balance. It does not replace medical care, but it addresses a root cause that is often ignored. When hormones move back toward balance, the prostate finally gets permission to calm down, and for many men, that makes all the difference. Inside the male body, the prostate is constantly exposed to damage from toxins and oxidative stress, yet almost no one talks about this connection. Every day, pollutants from the air, chemicals from food packaging, pesticides on produce, and byproducts of poor digestion enter the bloodstream. Over time, these substances don't simply disappear. They create oxidative stress, a condition where unstable molecules called free radicals begin attacking healthy cells. The prostate, because of its hormonal sensitivity and rich blood supply, becomes an easy target. This silent damage gradually alters prostate cells, pushing them toward inflammation, abnormal growth, and eventual enlargement. Oxidative stress works like rust inside the body. Just as metal corrodes when exposed to oxygen and moisture, prostate cells deteriorate when constantly exposed to free radicals. These damaged cells send distress signals that trigger inflammation and cell multiplication as a form of protection. Unfortunately, this defense mode causes the prostate to swell and harden over time. The result is pressure on the bladder, disrupted urine flow, and worsening symptoms that many men wrongly blame only on age. What most men are never told is that the body already has powerful detox and antioxidant systems designed to handle this damage. The liver, kidneys, and cellular enzymes work together to neutralize toxins and repair oxidative injury. However, these systems weaken with age, poor nutrition, and constant toxic exposure. When detox pathways slow down, harmful compounds remain longer in the body, repeatedly injuring prostate tissue and accelerating enlargement. This is where the powerful vegetable plays a critical role. Broccoli contains compounds that don't just act as antioxidants themselves, but actually activate the body's internal detox machinery. One of the most important of these compounds is sulforaphane, which triggers a protective system inside cells known as the NRF2 pathway. When this pathway is activated, cells increase their production of detox enzymes and antioxidants. Instead of passively suffering damage, prostate cell L has become better equipped to neutralize toxins and repair themselves. By switching on these detox pathways, this vegetable helps the body clear harmful substances before they can embed themselves in prostate tissue. Heavy metals, chemical residues, and oxidative byproducts are processed more efficiently and eliminated. This reduces the constant cellular irritation that drives prostate enlargement. Rather than reacting defensively by growing larger, the prostate can remain calmer and more stable. Another overlooked benefit is how this detox activation protects DNA inside prostate cells. Oxidative stress damages DNA, leading to abnormal cell behavior and uncontrolled growth. By increasing antioxidant defenses, this vegetable helps shield cellular DNA from damage, slowing the chain reaction that leads to enlargement and dysfunction. Healthy cells behave normally. Damaged cells multiply and inflame. Detox support shifts the balance back toward health. This process is gradual, not dramatic. The prostate does not shrink overnight because toxins did not accumulate overnight. But as detox pathways stay active day after day, the internal environment around the prostate improves. Inflammation decreases, tissue becomes less rigid, and pressure on the urinary tract slowly eases. Many men notice subtle but meaningful changes: fewer nighttime bathroom trips, less urgency, and improved comfort. A short real-life example makes this clearer. A 64-year-old man had struggled with worsening prostate symptoms despite normal hormone levels and medication. He lived in a city, ate processed foods, and rarely consumed vegetables. After learning about detox pathways, he began adding lightly steamed broccoli to his meals several times a week and reduced processed foods. Within a few months, his nighttime urination decreased and his urine flow became steadier. His doctor explained that while his prostate size hadn't dramatically changed on scans, the tissue was less inflamed and irritated, suggesting reduced oxidative stress. The truth no one tells men is that prostate enlargement is not just a mechanical issue, it is a cellular environment issue. When prostate cells are constantly attacked by toxins and free radicals, they adapt by growing and stiffening. This powerful vegetable helps change that environment by activating the body's natural detox and antioxidant systems. It doesn't fight the prostate, it protects it. By reducing cellular damage at its source, it slows abnormal growth and gives the prostate a chance to function the way it was meant to. Over time, that protection can make a profound difference in comfort, sleep, and quality of life. Most men assume that if a vegetable is healthy, it doesn't matter how it's prepared. They believe broccoli is broccoli, whether it's boiled to death, drowned in oil, or microwaved until lifeless. This assumption quietly destroys the very compounds that make this vegetable supportive for prostate health. The truth no one explains is that broccoli's benefits are not automatic. Its prostate protective power depends heavily on how it is handled, cut, cooked, and even timed before eating. Prepared incorrectly, it becomes little more than fiber and water. Prepared correctly, it becomes biologically active support for the prostate. Inside broccoli is a compound called glucoraphanin, which on its own does very little. The real magic happens when glucoraphanin is converted into sulforaphane, the compound linked to reduced inflammation, improved detox pathways, and healthier prostate tissue. This conversion only occurs when an enzyme called myrosinase is active. Here's the problem: heat destroys myrosinase. When broccoli is boiled for long periods or cooked at high temperatures, the enzyme is wiped out before it can do its job. What's left looks healthy on the plate, but has lost much of what makes it effective. This is why preparation matters so much. Light steaming for a short time, usually 3 to 4 minutes, softens the vegetable without killing the enzyme. Even better, chopping broccoli and letting it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking allows myrosinase to activate and begin forming sulforaphane before heat is applied. Once that process starts, sulforaphane becomes far more heat-stable. This small pause, something almost no one talks about, can dramatically increase the vegetable's impact inside the body. Another mistake men make is drowning broccoli in unhealthy oils or pairing it with HAV, processed foods. While healthy fats like olive oil can help absorption of beneficial compounds, excessive frying or pairing with refined carbohydrates increases inflammation, partially canceling out the benefit. The prostate responds not just to individual foods, but to the overall inflammatory load of a meal. Broccoli prepared gently and paired wisely sends a calming signal to prostate tissue instead of a confusing one. Consistency also plays a major role. Eating perfectly prepared broccoli once a month will not undo years of inflammation and cellular stress. The prostate responds slowly because enlargement is a gradual process. When broccoli is prepared correctly and eaten several times a week, the body receives repeated signals to reduce inflammation, support detox enzymes, and relax irritated tissue. Over time, these signals accumulate. This is when men begin noticing practical changes like improved urine flow, fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom, and less pressure or discomfort. What's rarely explained is that improper preparation can actually work against progress. Overcooked broccoli still contains sulfur compounds, but without proper activation, these compounds may cause bloating and digestive discomfort without delivering prostate benefits. Some men then assume broccoli doesn't agree with them and remove it entirely, not realizing the issue was technique, not the vegetable itself. Proper preparation improves both effectiveness and digestion. A short real-life example makes this clear. A 66-year-old man added broccoli to his diet after being told it was good for prostate health. He boiled it for 20 minutes until it was soft and tasteless, then stopped eating it because he felt bloated and noticed no improvement. Later, he learned to chop the broccoli, let it rest, and lightly steam it for a few minutes before adding olive oil. Within weeks, digestion improved. Over the next few months, his nighttime urination decreased, and his urine flow became steadier. The vegetable didn't change, his preparation did. The deeper truth is that food is not just nutrition, it is instruction. How food is prepared determines what instructions the body receives. Properly prepared broccoli tells the prostate that inflammation is no longer necessary, that detox systems can activate, and that cellular stress can calm down. Improperly prepared broccoli sends no clear message at all. This is why some men swear by it while others see no results. The truth no one tells you is that broccoli doesn't help the prostate by existing on your plate. It helps by being biologically activated, gently cooked, and eaten with intention. Preparation is the difference between wasted effort and meaningful support. When done correctly and consistently, this simple vegetable becomes far more than food. It becomes a quiet ally for prostate health, working in the background day after day. Many men approach prostate problems hoping for a fast solution. A pill, a supplement, a short course of treatment that will fix everything and allow life to return to normal. When symptoms ease a little, they feel hopeful. When symptoms return, they feel disappointed and confused. What is rarely explained is that prostate enlargement did not develop quickly, and it rarely improves through one-time or short-term actions. Long-term prostate relief is built through consistency, not medication alone, and this is where simple daily nutrition quietly outperforms quick fixes. The prostate changes slowly because it responds to long-term signals inside the body. Inflammation, hormone imbalance, oxidative stress, and metabolic strain build over years. Medications often target one narrow pathway, such as relaxing smooth muscle or blocking certain hormones. While this can bring temporary relief, it does not always change the internal environment that caused the prostate to enlarge in the first place. When the underlying signals remain the same, symptoms often return, sometimes requiring higher doses or additional drugs along with new side effects. This is why consistency matters so much. When a prostate-supportive vegetable is eaten regularly, it sends repeated, gentle signals to the body. These signals are not dramatic, but they are persistent. Day after day, they help reduce inflammatory stress, support hormone metabolism, and activate detox and antioxidant systems. Over time, the prostate begins to respond differently because the environment around it has changed. It no longer needs to remain in a defensive, swollen state. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is how it supports the body's natural rhythm. The body is designed to adapt gradually. Sudden interventions often trigger resistance or side effects, while steady nutritional input allows systems to recalibrate without shock. When a man eats this vegetable several times a week, the prostate receives repeated reminders that conditions are improving. Inflammation does not disappear overnight, but it slowly loses its grip. Tissue becomes less irritated, pressure eases, and urinary function improves in a way that feels natural rather than forced. Another truth men are rarely told is that medication and nutrition do not have to be enemies. Medication can be useful, especially when symptoms are severe, but nutrition determines whether relief lasts. Without consistent dietary support, medication is often doing all the work alone. With consistent nutrition, the body begins sharing that workload. This often allows men to experience steadier improvement with fewer fluctuations, and, in some cases, fewer side effects over time. Consistency also affects sleep, which is deeply connected to prostate health. Frequent nighttime urination disrupts sleep, and poor sleep increases inflammation and hormonal imbalance, creating a vicious cycle. When prostate irritation gradually decreases through consistent dietary support, nighttime awakenings often reduce. Better sleep further lowers inflammation, reinforcing progress. This compounding effect only happens when habits are maintained long enough for the cycle to reverse. It is important to understand that inconsistency sends mixed signals. Eating well for a week, then returning to processed foods and inflammatory